Good morning. How are y'all doing out there this morning? It feels kind of chilly and cool. One of those curl up with a book days here in Las Vegas, which I know is nothing compared to many of you who live in the Midwest or the East Coast. But in Vegas, when it's 50, it feels pretty cold. We actually put on the heater for the first time today just to take the chill off the house. And then I'll turn it back off because I don't like that feeling of the heat blowing all the time. I know, crazy, right? But you get used to wherever you live, you sort of get used to it. So I know many of you, my son always just loved the cold weather. My sister likes the cold weather, but I'm not. So this isn't really cold, but it's just really chilly this morning. So Jennifer is going to be joining us. I think she probably had a little holdup at work because she is working in her office, with American Family. And if a phone call comes in, then she has to take that, of course. And so I imagine she'll be popping in here pretty soon. As y'all, if you checked my messages last night, it was pretty late, but I drove down to Phoenix yesterday and picked up my mother to bring her up here for Thanksgiving. So we are really excited about having her here. And my sister from Utah is here with her little boy. And so we're just looking forward to a really nice family time. Now, of course, I am going to miss my kids who are in the Kansas City area, but we'll be going there for Christmas. And so just kind of as we were thinking about what we want to talk about this morning, about what are some things we can do to anticipate things that might occur during the holidays and be more safe and try to, not have any accidents or things that are going to kind of mess up your holiday cheer. So I'll talk about that a little bit. But who is out there this morning? I'm going to type a little good morning here in the box. And there we go. Make sure that pops up there. And what I think I figured out is if you're on my speaker page, that's where I can see the messages. If you're on the Fun Fearless page, you're seeing the live show, but I don't see your messages until later. So I think that's why I'm not seeing everybody's messages, because we're live streaming on the Fun Fearless page and on my personal page and the speaker page. But for some reason, maybe because it's an actual page, I think the personal page isn't really a page, right? It's called something else. It's just your, what do you call that? Yeah, somebody can tell me what that is. So let me see here. I am going to also copy this link and put it here in the box. And that way, if you click that, it gives permission for Facebook to show your name. And there's Grace. Good morning. Always nice to see you out there. Just how is it? So tell me, what's it like in Kansas City this morning? You can fill that in on the box. And we are really blessed. I tell you, my mother has a best friend who is 95. Her name is Poppy. She lives in Little Rock, Arkansas. And then I have an aunt who is my dad's sister, and she's 93. She and my mother are like 1 month apart. So they're sort of like sisters of the heart. And one of my cousins reached out to me after I posted about going and picking up my mother that they'll be picking up her mother. They'll be taking her to her sister's house for Thanksgiving. So, with those of us who still have our mothers and fathers, if you have your fathers, my father passed away about 10 years ago. No, you know what? It's been so much longer than that. That's awful, like 20 years ago. But anyway, so we do have her. So we're looking forward to a fun holiday. All right. So anybody else out there that wants to say hello, so I can say a quick hello to you. And Bill was, okay, let me see here. There we go. Oh, Karen, good morning. Yay, nice to see you out there too. And so Bill was reading the paper and something, and he said, you need to be really more careful this year. We should always be careful and paying attention, right? But it seems like there's just so much, I don't know, there's just weirdness out there in the world today. And I guess it's always, like I said, it's always been there, but it seems it's more prominent, or we either hearing more about it. But just that's sort of the topic of this morning, is what are some things that we can do to just be safer, and so we can enjoy the holidays more, and try not to have some of those, like I said before, like have try not to have the accidents that happen. So one of the things I remember, and I should have reached out to Mary this morning, Safety Mary, because she has lots of ideas for that. Maybe I can get her to come on the show. I'll reach out to her. But one of the things is, and it's a pretty easy one to do, is not to, so if you're out shopping, and so that meant whether it's the grocery store or the mall or whatever, I don't know how many of you are out doing shopping, but I'll tell you, in Vegas, everybody's out. Masks are mandated. We have to wear masks, but the traffic is terrible. There are so many people out, and it appears that Phoenix is the same way because we had lots of traffic yesterday, but it was a good trip. It was sunny and bright, and it was all good. And we came home, got both ways safe and sound. So I'm always such a blessing. Thank you, Lord, for that safety traveling. But when you're parking, for instance, out in a parking lot, and one of the things, and I remember when I first read this a number of years ago, I had never thought of it before, and that is not to park by a big van. You know how some of those vans are just, you can't even see around them. You get out and you feel like you're walking into a wall. Even if that's the only parking place that you see for a ways, go find another one, because it's really easy for someone to grab you or to grab your purse or to whatever, because those big vans can hide them. So that's just one that's a pretty easy one, trying to keep yourself clear. Now that doesn't mean that the car you park next to is not going to pull out and one's going to pull in there, but where you have the chance to make a choice, that's a good way to do that. So I'm going to just check my phone here for a minute. In fact, I'm going to send just a little message, if you'll bear with me, just to send. So I'm going to just tell her that we are on and just jump on. Oh, there she is. There she is. Yay! Okay. I was looking for you. I'm just getting ready to send you a message.
I am so sorry, Delinda. Good morning, everybody. It has been a lovely morning with technology here. So we're rolling with everything, aren't we?
Well, I thought you might have gotten one of those last minute phone calls. I told the group, I said, she's working in her office, and if the phone call comes in, she has to take it.
I do. I'm so lucky, though. I have this amazing young lady that we've recently hired, and she is just a firecracker, and she just has everything under control. So I am so fortunate now.
That's awesome. So I was just beginning. Oh, Lisa said, "Oh, B, yes." And now B, girlfriend, Beatrice, that you see on there, Crawford, is a retired policewoman from Kansas City area. She's amazing, had a wonderful career. And so B, any input that you want to put in there as safety tips for our ladies, that would be wonderful. You know what? You and I, we should be on the call sometime. Well, we'll have to talk about that. That'd be awesome. So Lisa said, "Where's Jennifer?" Oh, here she is. So, hey, Jennifer, before we continue on with the topic, so we haven't seen you in a while. You've been working in your new office and all that, but how are you and what's been going on?
Well, the office we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary at our physical location. As everybody else was still trying to decide what they're going to do during the pandemic, we decide, let's buy a building and open an office. So that's what we've done. And that has been going great. So business is wonderful, loving helping people with that. And then personally, my daughter has officially graduated, has a wonderful job. My husband and I are leaving this afternoon for a 5-day Caribbean cruise for the holiday. And I'm just ready to continue enjoying life.
That is so awesome. So I really even more appreciate you being here this morning, knowing I don't know that I could do that, get on and do a thing and then, finish your packing and get to the airport and all of that stuff, because you'll leave in the morning, right? So, you'll leave for the airport today to go.
Correct. Yes. We fly. We got the last flight that had seats available that gets us from Kansas City to the East Coast. That was a trick in and of itself. So we've got that, and then we'll land in Florida basically at 1 a.m. our time. So it's going to be, it's kind of a lengthy layover in Charlotte, but that's okay. It's vacation.
That's right. And, after this time that we've all had, vacations are really nice. So
Yeah,
And
exactly.
although you haven't been idle, you've been on several little short trips throughout the.
We decided to do what I call backyard vacations. We did Hannibal. We took the train to Chicago. We've just tried to hit things that we could, get you away, get you to see something different, but that did some different modes of transportation. So we've done this year car, train. We haven't. Well, I guess we did buses in Chicago. I don't know if that counts. And then we'll do a cruise ship and the airplane. So I think we've hit every mode of transportation.
There you go. There you go. So all of you out there, that's an encouragement to, if you haven't yet, go do something, especially if you're feeling in a rut, get out of the rut and just go do something. So
look at towns and communities that are an hour or 2 hours away. You'll be surprised. There are people who fly in to where you live to see the things that are in your own backyard. And I think a lot of times we forget that and we don't appreciate that near enough.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, okay, let's go back to this, go into our topic of having a safe and healthy holiday. What are some things that we can do to be more safe? Now, you're in the insurance business, and we don't usually talk about that too much, but I thought today was a good day. So what are the things from the insurance business that you see that people do? How can we better prepare ourselves?
The big one for Thanksgiving for us, there's actually two big ones. The first one, and it always hits the news this time of year, and actually Kayla found a little thing we had on our chalkboard for a couple of weeks, said, hopefully this year, if you're frying a turkey, you don't have to call 911 or your insurance agent. If you are frying a turkey, please follow all the safety protocols that go into that. I fry a turkey. I fully understand it. It's a wonderful way to eat that, but there is a lot of danger involved in that, especially if you're outside the realm. Those who smoke a turkey, don't leave that fire completely unattended. I understand we go inside, but we don't want to be running to Walmart for 5 hours and not be near our home for things like that. Those are the things we see. The other thing we do see is a little bit of an increase in slip and falls. People, coming over and cutting their hands in your kitchen, with you helping you cut up, things with your knives, things like that. You have a lot more people potentially in your home helping and doing things that that you have an extra little step up somewhere, but your guests may not. So thinking about those things, taping down cords, those are the kind of things that, because those all go on homeowners insurance. Most people have a coverage. It's a medical expense coverage that if you want to, you can turn in a claim on that. And we will see an uptick of that in the course of the next few weeks with people gathering.
Yeah. The one of the things when I was looking up some stuff too, the big one that was just glaringly big, we haven't done a live tree in a long time, but that the amount of fires from live trees, that people don't keep them watered or they buy them overly dry to begin with, because those trees have been cut, many of them, for a long time already.
Exactly.
The amount of fires is just pretty amazing.
And they go up very quickly. Those those videos, when you watch the firemen that show just in all it takes, and those are the other things I encourage. I love antiques and I love vintage. This is not the time to be plugging in grandma's set of Christmas lights. They look beautiful, and again, I collect those things, but I don't use them. Wiring standards have changed, at least. And if you're going to have someone who does know what they're doing, look those over, because those shorting out that's nothing to mess around with. So,
yeah, because you think, oh, well, it plugged in, it turned on, it's fine. But and that thing of having, 10 things plugged into, a one, strip of things, you have a cord, a strip to put your stuff on. They're really, if you have a so that has 3 prongs,
right?
You don't want to put on the 3 prongs another 3 prong on each of the prongs. So now you have 10 different cords all in this one thing. So really things, we're saying it out loud and it's like, okay, well, that sounds good. Who's going to do that? But when you're in the middle of doing decorating and stuff, you do sometimes. And I know I've done something like that, knowing that I'm going to spread it out once I check out all the lights or whatever. But sometimes they don't get re-separated, so you don't want to have all of that glob there together.
Yep. And your Christmas lights will tell you how many strings you can safely attach. And again, those things are there for a reason. There's nothing worse. A house fire or any type of damage like that is devastating no matter what time of year it is.
Yeah.
However, in the middle of the holidays is just not when you want a tragedy at all. So we want people to stay safe. We do. The other thing, thinking of Thanksgiving, and again, I don't deal necessarily with health insurance, but a lot of people don't think about how long they let their food sit out. And then you go back and thirds, and it's been sitting out for 2, 3, 4 hours. Just think about those kind of things. One of our tricks we do with things that need to stay cold is we go buy bags of lima beans and then put those underneath the casserole dishes or whatever that needs to stay cold. It kind of works as an ice pack, but it's all contained, and you can make it lay flat. So those little things like that. But just think about those things. Food safety is another big one.
Yeah. Okay, go back to that. I have never, huh?
Yeah. I was going to say, Lisa commented, don't cut the veggies while you're in the shower and frying your turkey. So also make sure that you don't eat the veggies if they've been out too long.
Oh gosh. So go back to the lima beans. What was that? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so get a bag. So I always keep bags of frozen lima beans in my freezer because lima beans are thick. So they hold the cold really well. I use them as ice packs because they're malleable, because you can, once you break up the little chunks of ice, and if it gets freezer burned, it's no big deal. But I put them underneath any casserole dishes that have a cold salad in it or something, and it just radiates up that cold through your casserole dish.
Well, now everybody write that tip down. I've never heard of that. Now I've heard put beans, like if you have a black eye or you hurt shoulder, you can put that on there, but I never thought about it as far as keeping food cool.
Yep. And then I have also one, I will wrap it up in a tea towel. And then when I'm baking cookies, you want to cool down your cookie sheets in between, because that makes so it keeps the thing from your dough from spreading. I will actually, after I take all my cookies off, I will set my warm cookie sheet on top of my bag of lima beans, wrapped in a tea towel, and that will actually cool down your cookie sheet almost instantly.
Oh my gosh. Well,
lima beans are my savior.
That is awesome. When Bill goes to the store, I'm going to have him pick up a couple of bags. And actually, I like lima beans. I kind of forget about them. Hey, Barb Milton, good morning there, girlfriend. How are you? A great tip about the lima beans, she says. Yeah. The other thing, okay, so I'll let you kind of finish. So other things at home, you mentioned the slip thing. I think that's, especially in your area, it seems like lots of people slip and fall. And even if you don't have snow, you could have like an icy sidewalk or something.
Correct. And that's the thing is, and you have the ice component. You also have water, like if you're washing dishes and things like that. Hold on, I'll be right with you. Okay. So, you have the things like you splash a little water on your floor, things like that. Those are slip and falls. But also, again, we think of ice, we think of the snow, making sure your sidewalks are clear. That extra pathway, if you got extra people coming, there's going to be extra parking. You just got to think of it. And also right now we have leaves falling. I don't know. In Vegas, I know you guys don't have leaves on your trees. So here we have leaves on our trees and they fall off this time of year. Those are slippery. On your curbs, and those are all things that, again, they just become a hazard that, again, when it's your own home, you don't think about it. You know where those are, but is there a hole? Is there a little divot in your curb that maybe someone pulling up wouldn't see because it's covered by leaves? So think about those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when they are wet, they are very slippery.
Yes, they are.
And I think the other thing is depending on. So I know when I was anticipating my mother coming, depending on who you have coming, extra area rugs and stuff are very easy for people to trip on or stumble on. And so I took a couple of the area rugs out just so she wouldn't have to. And she does very well. And she doesn't use a walker or anything. She sometimes uses a little walking stick. But just kind of looking at your house. And if you're having young children, take a look at that too. Bill and I haven't had young kids a long time. But when the grandkids came to visit, it's like, oh, I guess I better get those little plug covers because they seem to just gravitate to the things that will harm them.
They do. And also where you normally might keep grandma's vase or your liquor cabinet, your cleaning chemicals. I again, I don't have little ones in my house underneath my kitchen sink. There's certain things that I utilize on a daily basis. I keep them handy. When I have family come over, I put those things in a different spot just because I don't want to run the risk of a young one getting into that. So it's another, again, these are all those weird little things that, it's common sense, but I think we need to be reminded of it. And then the other thing, thinking about Christmas, and this goes into insurance, it's not so much safety, but it is. When you're getting those gifts, you get the new fancy ring, you get a new pair of earrings, you buy the big screen TV, that's the time you call your insurance agent and you get those added on to your policy, especially jewelry. Most home policies only cover about $3,000-$4,000 base amount. It's kind of designed to cover the wedding set is the kind of the concept of it. So if you get a nice piece of jewelry, you want to make sure you have the coverage, because if something happens to that, you don't have coverage on your homeowner's policy. But the nice thing is if you have it scheduled, most policies will cover if you lose a stone, it gets stolen, things like that. Those are all covered perils.
Oh, good idea. And this is the time of year, usually, if someone is into giving those kind of really extra nice gifts, like say a piece of jewelry or a new diamond ring, whatever that is. This is the time of year that often will happen.
Yes.
And getting that on your policy, that makes sense too. Barb says here, meds, keeping your medicines out of the way.
Definitely.
People that could get into them.
Exactly.
Then the other thing that I was thinking a lot about, because Bill had been reading something in the paper, and we were talking about, don't park by a van where somebody could grab you. The other thing is, and I'm really bad at this, is I can carry a lot of stuff. And if you have your hands so full that if someone came up behind you, you would have no recourse. So keeping a hand free, and I think, and B, you can respond to this if you want to, but what I've been told is like taking your keys and having I don't have a key here, but so that if somebody did come up, you would have something to, at least help yourself, try to protect yourself, those other things. And I don't know, B, I would love to know your opinion of, whether I have one of those loud whistle things that, that just scares them off, and maybe they will run off and leave you, whether it's safe to, carry mace or something. But I think the biggest thing, as B said, is being aware. It's easy to just be, I got this, and I'm singing my Christmas carols, or I'm talking to, if I'm shopping with somebody
on your phone.
I think that's probably really a dangerous thing, being on your phone and texting as you're walking out into parking lots, because you then have no concept of your all around you. Someone could come up to you, and things happen like that. We don't like to think about it, but the more aware we are, the safer we'll be, I think.
Yep. And the items that you're purchasing, make sure they're going in your trunk. Do not leave them in your trunk overnight. Right. People are constantly watching you. Always assume someone with ill intent is following you when you have whatever the Christmas gifts are. And they're going to see if you carry them into your house or not. And that's an important, that again, the number of people who leave them laying on their back seat because they're just going to run in quickly to the grocery store. And guess what? All it takes is 2 seconds to smash the window and Christmas is done. So,
and right now we know that the thieves out there, the ones who are looking, with ill intent, they're walking right into the stores and stealing stuff and taking them out. I mean, it's amazing to me. I heard a statistic that I think they've closed 22 CVS or Walgreens, I think of in San Francisco, and we know they're having big problems there, just because there's so much shoplifting and that kind of thing going on that they can't even keep the stores open. So if they're brash enough to go in there, one person said on an interview that they came in and filled up a grocery cart and then just went straight out. Because if it's here in Vegas, it's $1,200. If it's under $1,200, they give you a little slap on the wrist. It's a misdemeanor and it's not a felony, whereas I think it used to be. And so so again, that's just saying protect yourself. And because if they're going to do that, don't leave your stuff on the seat. Don't leave your purse. And I haven't since my car got broken in my own driveway. I had foolishly left my purse in the car. And I don't know if I was going to go back out and get it and I forgot or what, but they saw my purse there and broke the window and took it. Now I got the purse back, but not the stuff that was in it. But anyway.
And it was a hassle. Even the hassle of canceling all the credit cards, getting your new driver's license, figuring out what you have. The other thing I'll say with that is my mom got her purse stolen. We were so grateful we got the wallet back because in there was the original photograph that my dad gave her when they started dating, his senior picture.
Oh, wow.
And we had just lost him right before that. Had we lost that photo, that would have been the worst thing, all on top of everything else. So don't keep anything of actual value, like even sentimental value, in your purse. Make copies, do something. That's what we did. We went and got a copy of that photograph, and mom still carries one, but the original's in her jewelry box at home. So
what a great idea. Yeah. So I guess this year's been weird. I guess maybe that's what I'm talking about this, because I've done some really dumb things this year, like leave my purse. But that was like 6 months ago. And then just in the last month or two, y'all probably recall, I was just out and we were having dinner. And at that time, I did keep my phone as a wallet. I don't now. It is only a phone because I had my driver's license, my insurance card, and 3 credit cards in my little phone wallet. I inadvertently left it on a table. When I came back, it was gone. And within 20 minutes, they were already trying to use my credit card. So it's like, okay, not going to do that anymore. So again, and I was really lucky because whatever I had, well, y'all, anyway, if you've been around much, you already heard my whole big story on that. But they were stopped immediately. I had enough alerts on my credit cards and stuff that I knew immediately. And they did not get away with one dime. Hallelujah. But it was more the hassle then of replacing the driver's license and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
So, and that is another thing when you are out shopping, making sure that, I would say don't put that anything like your wallet or whatever in your back pocket. Now, most women's clothes don't hardly have pockets anyway, unless you're wearing a pair of jeans. And, so it's like, oh, it's just so convenient, but it's so easy for someone to pick that up. And let's just be safe and not have any of those kind of things happen during this whole holiday season.
Exactly. And that's ultimately what it comes down to, is using common sense, being aware of what's around you, who's around you, the comings and goings. And, I'd rather see somebody make a couple of trips up, don't leave your trunk open when you're carrying in the kids' Xboxes and everything, and think, again, I'll just be a second, because that's all it takes.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that's another one, because, this is easy. And you're like 20 steps from your house. But again, you're right. I know that people are kind of watching. And this is not to start off the holiday with a negative thing. It's really just wanting us to be safer and to get through the holidays with any of that. Let's see. Barb says, I love my fanny pack. I found a cute one at Marshall's. Just helps me keep organized. So it's in a little zipper. So it's easier, and the purse over the shoulder sometimes isn't a good one too, especially if it's one of those big ones. Somebody could actually put their hand down in the purse. And laying them on the floor. This was a number of years ago. It was a great trip with my Mary Kay girlfriends, and we were in Chicago, and we went to the movie and had a couple of packages and just put them there under my seat. And when we left, my package was gone. So someone had come, I don't know, when I didn't know, getting up and leaving, and they just sort of slipped that package right out, I guess, because it was not with me when I left.
And you don't ever assume your surroundings are safe. I had an aunt who 2 times had her purse stolen at church.
No, don't you hate that even more?
And one time she was, was standing up, and it was sitting on the pew, and the person behind just reached in, took it. The other time she actually left it sitting in the pew while she went up for communion. And that one, she said, I really should have known that one. The other one, you just kind of make assumptions, but again, just be careful. We just have to be careful.
We just have to be careful. Right.
Yeah, we're responsible for that. And then the other thing I just throw in there, because again, it's a great time for evaluation of where your money's going, all those things. It's a great time to just take a look over the coverages you have, understand what they are, because I think a lot of people don't know that if grandma slips and falls at your house, there is some coverage that it depends on your policy. Sometimes it's not even subject to your deductible. There's just a medical coverage on many policies that would take care of at least her deductible going to the hospital until her health insurance kicks in or something like that. So, checking those policies over. It's always a good idea.
Well, absolutely. And what you were saying too about making sure that if you have some things that you need to get put on your personal articles, like your jewelry or something. Because I think on mine, Jennifer, it's really low. I mean, I think it's only, I have a separate one now, but if I didn't have that, I think it would only cover maybe $1,000, and you could have $5,000 of jewelry stolen or whatever. And you wouldn't, that's all you get. So, checking those out, like you say, and I just think this is a good time of the year for you to remind us of some of those things. Like I said, we don't talk about the insurance side very often, even though you're on here with me. But I want people to know, and I'm going to give you a shout out because you're here and because I love you. That if you ever have any questions about that on your own policy, Jennifer loves to help. I mean, she has never, trust me, she will never put any pressure on you. But if you want to just check and you don't know and you want to know what you have or what you need, she would love to do that for you. So just give her a call. Check in with her on Facebook.
Yes, please do. And I really do, because I look back, I started in this industry almost 9 years ago now. The things I didn't know, the things I paid for that my insurance would have paid for, some of those things that I go, or coverages I should have added back in the day. So definitely one of those things. And I don't mind. To me, it's education, and I enjoy doing it. I really do.
Yeah, and I know you do. Okay, so we are at the top of the hour. And again, Jennifer, I know you're going to be catching an airplane and going on your trip. I'm so excited for you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that is going to be great. And encourage you guys to really be present. Sometimes I don't know about y'all, maybe y'all don't ever do this, but sometimes I get in the middle of doing this stuff, and I'm pretty much a multitasker. I can do multiple things at a time. But what I find is then sometimes I've really missed the really being present for some of the things I'm doing. It's not a badge of honor to be able to do 15 things at a time. I'm just saying, because sometimes you miss out. So for instance, this week, since my mother's here, I'm really not doing anything else. This is the last work-ish thing. This is so fun. I don't really think of it as work, but that I'm doing because I really want to be present and spend the time with her and spend the time with my sister. And so really, wherever you are, be there. Enjoy those times. You guys are going on vacation, and I know you always do. You guys really enjoy and do the max when you're out traveling. And so enjoy your time with your families, everybody. Any last minute comment, Jennifer, before we go?
The other thing we did, and we celebrated our Thanksgiving this last weekend with my family, so because everybody was going to end up being somewhere else for Thanksgiving. That's why we are jumping on a ship. We do a thing where we went around the room and asked everybody what they're thankful for. However, unless you had a new addition to your family, a new home, or a cancer-free health diagnosis, family, home, and health were not the things you got to say. And so we have everybody to go outside of the realm of those and really dig into what you were thankful for, because everybody should hopefully be thankful for those things, them and working towards that. So that is one thing I just encourage. Really look at the other things. I'm thankful for my friends that I've met through many things. I'm thankful my business is going well. I am so thankful for Kayla out here who is dealing with this crazy gal who's trying to run out the door at 3:00 on her. So, but I want everybody to look at that. Look at the other things that you're thankful for in your circle.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. I am so thankful for you. The fact that you show up on Tuesday mornings and listen to us and participate. And some of you I know will be watching this later, and I appreciate you as well whenever you're watching. So it really is a blessing to me to be able to do this and just share this time with you every week. So everyone, go out, have a blessed and beautiful Thanksgiving. And remember that life is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. So choose wisely. Choose to really appreciate and be intentional with what you're doing this week. So whether you're with friends or family, or you're making, different choices, everybody, like Jennifer going on a cruise, whatever it is, just really enjoy it and pay attention to your surroundings to be safe. Mwah! Love you guys. Have a great, beautiful Thanksgiving. Bye now.